Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another Marine ECM, this time coming from Ohio. Erdem, this is your 5.7 or something. I think it's a 5.7 Indmar. Let's just go over to the folder. I have the computer connected, not powered on, because I want to do this on the video. He will notice this, and I'm going to cover some of the information, but this was attached to the computer. I just want to cover it because it has all phone numbers and everything very explicit in there. Let's cover the folder. Not much information, but very precise as far as we will see. This is the computer. It's a MFE4 12584052. So it's a MFE4B, and a sticker that I told you that was there. The email, the text message that he sent me, because he didn't send any paperwork with the computer. Guys, you need to please attach that to the computer. It's very important. I need the repair information signed. I'm trying to help you as much as I can, but I expose myself, and I'm not, trying to be, I don't know, not trustworthy or not trusty of anyone, but there is a lot of bad people around. And then when I don't have that paperwork signed, you're not approving the test fees, you can always refuse the charges. And I have two people trying to pull that out. Luckily, I have, proven the text messages and the stuff like that. But that's what I'm trying to do, that, and, protect you and not protect me. That's why I don't usually collect payments over the phones. I send you a link for payment with 3D secure from Visa and MasterCard, so you are protected. They will know that it is you, the only person that is using your card, and there is no handling of your information. All right, so this is a 2005 Supra Launch Indmar. So it is an Indmar 325. So 325 might be 5 liters. EFI Assault was running, only starts for a few seconds before it dies. Fuel pump not priming. Engine will continue running on a started fluid, but does not run when jumping with 12 volts. I guess jumping the fuel pump, maybe that's why he's saying it there, because it's a little inconclusive. But let's see what we can see here. All right, so that's all the information I have. So let's get to the test. I have everything connected and ready to go. Right here, I have a test light connected to the fuel pump relay. So let's see if that powers up. All right, battery and then ignition in 1, 2, 3. No fuel pump. So we are definitely getting exactly what he sets. Let's get into the diagram. So yeah, I can put them into your view. Yep. All right. So let's try to communicate. I'm going to select. Make sure you can see that as well. Yes, you are. So we're going to use Diacom Rinda, Windows-based software, and MEFI 1.4. So 1 to 4, right? So we are going to click on that, and let's see if we can establish communication or not. It looks like it's definitely nobody here. Yeah, we are seeing in there. The ECM is not responding, or the cable is not plugged in. I know that it's plugged in because everything is perfectly connected. We have power, we have ground, and we have sensor ground and sensor power. So the 5 volts is present for the sensors, but the amp draw is very, very, very small. It's only 100 millivolts, milliamps. It should be around close to 200, 210, but it's not. So we cannot communicate. So let's see if we can run this computer, as he said, that runs with alternative fuel. I don't see how that is possible, but let me close this, and I'm going to actually open the picoscope, which I have connected to all the signals. I have 2 channels, the blue and the red channel to the injectors, the green channel to the coil, and the yellow channel is going to be connected to the tachometer. The tach signal, let me turn that one on as well. 1 second, guys. I am behind the scenes adjusting those. And let me put the picoscope in your view to see if we see anything happening on the computer, because definitely we cannot connect to the diagnostics. So since we have no diagnostics, we need to use the oscilloscope in order to see if it's anything realistically happening or not, right? All right, I'm going to keep it in there just in case the computer runs, try to establish communication. All right, let's see. I'm going to inject. I'm not even sure what we have here, but let's see if it reads anything. we have coil. That's kind of odd because I can see a coil. Oh, I have the coil on the wrong connector, so it should be here. And the only reason that coil is firing is because I am providing a current position sensor signal. And that's probably why it runs if he uses alternative fuel, because it might be reading the sensor on the crank sensor signal. You know, the distributor produces that signal on a 5.7, and then by him adding fuel, it's not that we have injection, because we don't. You see the blue and red channel are completely off. There is absolutely nothing in there. Let me actually get into that to see what the voltages are in those lines, because it looks like it might be partially pulling it, and it is. We are in 11.3 in the blue channel. Yeah, 11.3 on both of those channels. There is obviously no tag signal, so that's why he gets no. No, maybe I'm confusing the computers. I'm working in so many computers today for boats. But we can see the voltage going down, like it's trying to do something, because I can see a little bit of you see the lights in there? Those green lights are the injectors right here, and blues are coils. So these have enough drivers for 4 injectors and 4 coils. Actually, yes, those are the lights in the connection that I can connect my oscilloscope and are on this side, and then we have powers and grounds in here for the same test. But we can definitely see there is no signal. So I'm going to remove the RPM signal 1 second. And you see that those injectors, even with no RPM signal, you see they're like partially shorted. And that's why that light is on. It shouldn't be on. So there's definitely a problem in here. This computer is dead. And this is where sometimes I have to fix the computer or attempt a repair, because I have a customer in mind. You should have called me to let me know. I'm like, well, if I call you and tell you that I can repair the computer, and then I end up not being able to repair it, I give you, I tell you a lie, or then I have to try to see if I can fix it, and then I can give you an answer. And this is what is hard. I always tell the customer, look, these computers, the repair can range from this much to this much. So you already know that. So this is where, in this case, I'm my hands are a little tight, because this computer is not communicating. So I'm gonna have to open it up and see what I can do. All right, so let me open the computer up, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, very good news. I actually made the magic happen. This was very difficult, very delicate, and it's like microsurgery. I can almost say that, because it's just, guys, I'm working with things that are like a tenth of a human hair. It's really small. All right, so let me show you. I have the computer open after the repairs. We have the fuel pump, injectors firing, coil, and you can see in here the signals, the IAC working, sensor ground, and firewall reference, which was active. But let me actually, let's go over to the desktop so we can see better, or you can see better all the signals in there. Blue channel connected to injector bank A, red is injector bank B, the green is the coil firing, and then the yellow channel is the tachometer. Calibration on this computer is 5C0A, and we can see here, let me just see where it is. Yeah, it is a 5.7 liters. Actually, I forgot that I can keep those. Sometimes I forgot which window I am working with, so we can keep these ones in here. Well, we don't need the calibration, right? I'm running it at 647 RPMs. And let's see if we have any fault codes. We do have one fault code. Let's see what it's showing. Well, oil cat, that is because it's not connected. That is very common on the Indmar. So that is for the oil sensor, but I don't have that connected, so that is fine. But let me keep those in here. I'm going to keep that right there. Let me move that here so you can see it. We can overlap it a little bit so we can use the space better. Throttle position. What else do we need to put in here? I forgot to show you. This has 269.3 hours. Oops. I'm going to keep that one here. And I'm going to put the running time. Do we have the running time? Yes, right here. Running time. Let's see what the IEC is calling for. IEC. Start without malfunctions. So without warnings, 255. Wow. It's funny that, it says that, without warning, without malfunctions at 0 because we got a full code. What else do I want to put in here? We got the throttle position. We have the throttle position voltage somewhere in here. In the MP4, there's just so many data pits that sometimes it's hard to find. Maybe I'm covering throttle position, throttle voltage right here. So let me scroll this a little better because I want to have those two together. I'm going to put the running time in here where we can see it, and then the engine hours. So make sure that the hours are counting properly and not going ballistically weird. But this is definitely a fix, guys. I am very, very methodical on these repairs, and I have mapped out completely these computers. When I deem one of these computers not repairable, it's not just because I, connected and it's not running and it's bad, like many other companies do, and tell you to go ahead and buy a computer from them for $5,000. Very easy to say something like that, right? No, I take the time to really try my best to fix your computer and then get it back to you fully tested. Just not just perform a Frankenstein. No, I don't do Frankenstein. And I do sometimes jump over wires because I need to repair a pad that is broken. That is a completely valid. And I never consider that a Frankenstein from anyone, as long as they do it cleanly, right? But yeah, everything is working good. So let's raise the RPMs. I'm going to go over, do we have, yeah, the RPMs are there. Let me go up to 4,000 RPMs. And you're going to see how the injectors and coils and all that stuff is now getting more and more in the window. I'm going to increase the throttle to around 35%. Oh, sorry, 39.5%. A little hard to, yeah, that's around there. I want to lower the RPM. I like to keep it usually around 4,070. Again, it's very hard to get that specific RPM sometimes. Yeah, right there. But everything, all the signals are correct. We have injectors, we have coils, we have everything. So this is definitely looking really good. I'm going to save a snap picture of these values for my records and the customer as well. So I'm going to just select everything. This is going to be black. Black is the screen for the meantime I'm doing this. So just give me 1 second, guys. And let me see Erdem right here. All right, so we're back in business. Let me go back to idle. I want to save those values again. I forgot to select the IEC. Where is the IEC position? Right here. So I need to save those values still in desired IEC position. Not sure if he has it on this software. Disable desired idle speed. IEC position. No, there is no desired IEC position, so we can only see the position that it is right now. All right, let's bring it down to idle, around 647. That's 650 on this one. And we're going to bring the throttle down to close to 0. Around there. Let me just move it out of 0. So we can see how that is 0.04, 0.0, right? So that is definitely the idle position. So we can see the IAC. I'm going to take a snap picture of this too. Save it to the folder. All right, that has been saved. And all the signals are present. Everything is working good. I can see the IAC in my view. So if I move it over to this view, I can see the IAC in here. This is where, visual is very good because I can see the reaction of what I am applying. But obviously, what we can see on the oscilloscope is on the diagnostics is a lot better, right? Because it's live data from the computer and then unprocessed data, which is the oscilloscope, on every of the signals that I really want to make sure that they are present, right? Because now we know the injectors are firing, coil is firing, everything is there. So no issues with this computer. All right, so let's go back to this view. I want to I'm going to put the diagram in here. It's going to be a little small, but I want to keep those in there. So I'm going to turn the RPM off. You're going to see the fuel pump goes into prime and it should come off or turn off, and that is normal. We didn't lose communication, which is great. All right, so I'm going to turn the ignition off. We will see that 5-volt reference and IAC went to sleep. And we're now seeing or you cannot see the synchronization, but I'm going to turn it back on. You pump immediately, that's the prime. How is this computer? Fully repaired. No doubt about it. And let's run it. And we get all the beautiful signals. This is like music to my ears. So this is definitely a successful repair, guys. No doubt about it. Another successful repair. Another computer that is saved by my Salazar Diagnostics. Like I should have start the video say like, let's see if we can save another computer. All right. That will be a nice phrase to start with a good positive mind, right? Of every video. I think I'm going to start doing that. Let's see if we can repair another computer. That sounds good. I think I'm going. I like it. I think I'm going to use it. But yeah, Erdem, your computer fully working. You can see all the signals and everything in there. I can move it over to here. We got everything. I'm going to turn them one more time. We lost the signals because we turned the RPMs off. Fuel pump goes off because the fuel pump will not be on unless you have an RPM signal. Ignition off. We wait for this to go to sleep, and it did. Once again, put in the ignition, fuel pump prime, and then let's run it. And we have everything again working beautiful. And we only have that one code. That if I move you over here, you can see that that's all we have. So guys, again, this is a full repair. Thank you so much, Erdem, for trusting my Salazar Diagnostics. And this is almost like a rush repair. But when I start working on a computer and I have it on my bench, I want to make sure that I can get it to. If it's something that I can warn the customer that can be repaired, I will call them and let you know. But when it's a dead computer, guys, you're going to expect this. I cannot give you a call to request your approval until I know if it can be repaired, right? Because otherwise, if I call you, like I said in the beginning, I might be lying to you, and I don't like to lie. I like to give you good results, and this is what I'm doing in here. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.